The Disney Adventure is a beast. At over 208,000 tons, choosing the wrong room isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a tax on your time, your energy, and your money. I'm John and this is Travel Reset. Today, we are stripping away the marketing fluff to give you a clinical breakdown of every stateroom category on this ship and make this the ultimate guide for you to book your stateroom choice. We'll look at why a curious case where having a balcony might actually make your room feel smaller, and why the most expensive suite might be the worst choice for someone prone to seasickness. Now, let's start with the big picture: location. On a ship this size, distance is your enemy. Choosing the right section of the ship to stay in is as important as the stateroom type. Let's find out why, starting with a crowd favorite, the midship. The midship is the efficiency choice. It's the fulcrum of the ship. Least motion, shortest walks to anywhere. If you have kids or someone that needs to minimize wasted effort all the time, stay here. A large majority of dining options are in the aft section of the ship, while entertainment venues are located in the forward sections. Staying here means you're never far from anything. The aft is the social oasis. You're close to the pools and other entertainment zones, but you trade that for a low-frequency engine thrum. Expect some compromises on privacy, especially on the concierge veranda rooms due to the step design. However, your views will be spectacular, especially the ones facing the Wayfinder Bay, where the wake views will be second to none. The forward section is also known as the quiet zone. It's quiet because no one really comes through unless they live there. But beware, it's a long trek to the buffet and other entertainment zones, and in rough seas, you will feel the pitch. So those with seasickness, do keep this in mind. The Category 11A inside stateroom is the lowest entry point to the Disney Adventure. Incredibly, there's room for 4 in this cabin, with 2 single bench beds and another 2 pull-down ones. Admittedly, once these are deployed, the room feels more like a sleeping pod than a living space. That said, if you are not going to be spending a lot of time in a room, this option makes the most sense, cost-wise. The lack of natural light may throw your circadian rhythm off cycle, but nothing too major. The deluxe inside stateroom categories 10B to D arguably offers the best value of all the interior options. It shares the same square footage as many of the more expensive room categories. If your budget is tight but you aren't a fan of sleeping on a pull-down bed, this is your ideal entry point. The Category 10A Reef View inside stateroom features a window looking directly into the Discovery Reef. While it sounds and looks incredibly cool, keep the privacy tax in mind. You'd likely have those curtains drawn 80% of the time to avoid feeling like a fish in a bowl for guests on the opposing side of the Discovery Reef. If you don't need the novelty of the window, opt for the 10B to D Deluxe inside. It offers the exact same 209 square feet of space, but it provides a much more private sanctuary. The Category 9A Ocean Stateroom is the first place that anyone should look for an Oceanview room. With this room, you get 2 single bench beds, 2 single wall pull-down beds, split bathroom, 32-inch television, but now you have a window overlooking the ocean. The room sleeps 4, and there are several sizes available with this room, some catered for accessibility, so the sizes may range between 145 to 165 square feet. This room is a minor upgrade to the inside staterooms with no change to the limited space found before. However, due to the location of the room near the forward part of the ship, it is prone to pitching, and that's something that you should be looking out for. The Category 8A is the Deluxe Ocean Stateroom. This room offers you a queen bed, a double convertible sofa with an upgraded 50-inch television, and a window overlooking the ocean. However, these are slanted due to the location of the room being at the forward part of the ship. It gives you a great captain's view, but that slant does eat into your vertical headspace. The room sleeps 4. This room is great for families, with a similar size to the Oceanview Verandah Staterooms, minus the veranda. However, due to the location of the rooms near the forward part of the ship, it is prone to pitching, and you will have longer walks to the amenities on the rest of the ship. So let's cover the pros and cons of each ocean stateroom to sum up this category. The standard Oceanview is the cheapest way to get a window. However, due to its limited space, especially with the pull-down beds deployed, the room may feel like a sleeping cabin. The deluxe Oceanview, on the other hand, offers its entire footprint of 209 square feet as an indoor living space. This room will feel larger than the 7A stateroom veranda room that we'll cover next. It also offers a unique, commanding view of the ship's path. However, the slanted hull in these forward rooms can eat into the vertical headspace. Now let's move on to the Verandah Staterooms, and starting us off, the category 7A. The 7A is a familiar layout to the 9A and 11A staterooms with a veranda upgrade overlooking Disney Imagination Garden or Discovery Reef. The room sleeps 4, and with the addition of the veranda, the room now has a similar size to the Oceanview Deluxe rooms at 209 square feet. My favorite picks for this room type would be cabins 10392 and 10692, as they offer great views of the Imagination Garden shows from the comfort of your own room. For the other cabins, they offer great outdoor views as well, however, not as utilitarian as these two. Due to its location overlooking internal open spaces, it may get noisy during peak hours, and you would have to contend with the fact that opposing rooms has a view into your cabin if your curtains aren't drawn. The category 6A to D Deluxe Oceanview staterooms would undoubtedly be the most popular room type across the ship. The private veranda overlooking the ocean offers peace and quiet when you need one, or you can keep the balcony doors open for a blast of natural air. That said, you'll find warnings not to leave items on the balcony as they might get blown out to sea. The breeze does turn into quite a gust once the ship really gets going. This room is great for families traveling with kids. The only thing to look out for is the price gap that you have to contend with against non-veranda Oceanview rooms. With Deluxe Reef View Stateroom, you swap views of the ocean with views of the Discovery Reef. And that's pretty much it. It sleeps 4 like the rest of the staterooms in this category with 253 square feet of living space, with the exception of the standard veranda rooms. The Garden View staterooms are for those seeking to be close to the action, from the comfort of their own rooms. As is with 7A standard veranda rooms, these rooms will be much less serene than its Oceanview counterparts, and you have to contend with opposing cabins having a view into yours without drawn curtains. So just to recap the veranda staterooms with the pros and cons of each one. The standard veranda offers the external living space at lower prices than other rooms in the same class. Privacy can be a minor annoyance. The Deluxe Oceanview offers true escapism when you need one. The distance from elevators and higher step counts are small prices to pay. The Deluxe Reef View offers great views of the Discovery Reef and is both a boon and bane as daytime traffic in the reef may lead to higher noise levels. The Deluxe Garden View rooms places you at the heart of the ship, offers great views and the shortest commute to dining and everything else. The garden lights are beautiful at night, but this could be a problem if you like a less visually stimulating outdoor view at night. If you want a true mental reset, the 6 series ocean facing is the only way to go. The garden and reef views, the 5 series, are basically stage-like seats. They are loud, bright, and lack privacy. You aren't paying for a view of the sea, you are paying to be a part of the action. Know which one you want before you swipe your card. The category 4D Concierge Inside Family is the de facto entry point for concierge service access. It features a king bed, a double bed, and a double convertible sofa. If you have a thing against pull-down beds, this room category is for you, because together with category 2 cabins, they do not feature pull-down beds. Even the Royal Suite is not exempted from having a pull-down bed to accommodate guests to its maximum supported limit. However, unlike the Royal Suite that boasts over 2,400 square feet, feeding 6 people in a space of 420 square feet in this cabin does look like a recipe for stress. This room is great for families planning to spend most of their time outside the room, with priority perks on the experiences. As is with all inside staterooms, the lack of natural lighting may be a turn-off to some. The category 4C, or the Concierge Family Stateroom with Oceanview Veranda, solves the lack of natural lighting in 4D and comes with a veranda, which instantly transforms the entire experience. This room is a natural status upgrade for those looking at the Oceanview veranda categories 6A to 6D staterooms. Given its position high up on the deck plan, rooms on the starboard side may be able to enjoy the view of the fireworks shot over the starboard during one of the cruise nights. Cabins 16707 and 708 has great forward views that will look fantastic from the veranda. The only thing that you should be watching out for is the price gap compared to the 6 Series or 2 interconnecting 6 Series rooms if you have more than 4 in your travelling party, and consider if that concierge access is worth the price delta. The category 4A or B, or the official name, the Concierge Family Stateroom with Garden View Veranda, has all the great in-action perks from the other Garden View rooms, and being on the topmost deck before the Leisure Deck 17, these cabins have a great atmosphere going for it, being able to enjoy the garden shows and having plenty of sunlight from the top. That said, it also comes with a fish in a bowl effect from opposing rooms and also from passers-by on Deck 17. That said, the midship location of these cabins and the convenience it offers will be hard to beat, like being equidistant from the entertainment forward section, F&B at the aft, and one staircase climb away from Deck 17. The Category 3C, or the Concierge Family Oceanview Suite, makes good use of its shape to accommodate a king bed, a double convertible sofa, and a single pull-down bed to sleep 5 in a room. There are only 5 cabins of this type on the entire ship, and they are all on the starboard side of the ship. Being on Deck 17 also means that you are on the same level as the main leisure deck and the Pixar Market restaurant, which makes this room a true gem. Do note that there are no verandas in this room, because it's something to take note of. Not every concierge room or suite comes with a veranda. The Category 3B, or the Concierge Family Stateroom with Oceanview Veranda, on the other hand, will have a large one wrapping around the cabin. This room also sleeps 5. The room sizes will vary as the veranda gets smaller as you go higher up the decks, as shown here. There are 8 of these rooms on the ship, and they are all located in the aft section overlooking the Wayfinder Bay. This stateroom is fantastic for its views and for those looking to sunbathe in private. Do expect some low-end thrum during quieter times of the day, and some noise from the pool during peak hours. The Category 3A of the same stateroom type is one of the most exclusive cabins on the ship, with the only one available on Deck 11 in the aft section. Despite its size of over 1200 square feet, it will still only sleep 5, not unlike 3B as the internal living space remains unchanged. The only difference here is the massive wraparound veranda featuring your very own whirlpool for the ultimate laid-back experience. The categories 2B and 2C. The Concierge Oceanview Suites is the recommended go-to choice for those who are seeking cabin sizes in excess of 1000 square feet that features no veranda space, and yet they should come equipped with a secondary bedroom space. Yes, you heard that right. This is the only category that offers this. This room is definitely the best value-pick ratio in terms of dollar to internal space. The room also offers great views from the forward windows, and it is definitely a strong favorite for the class. The 2 larger 2B cabins are located on Deck 15 with great vantage points, while the 2 slightly smaller 2C cabins are located on Deck 12. Being at the forward section of the ship, pitching should be expected, and if you are prone to seasickness, you might have to give this one a pass. The Category 2A, or the Concierge Suite with Oceanview Veranda, is one of the rarer cabins on the ship, there being only 2 of these cabins available. The large veranda area has great forward-looking views, and fans of private sunbathing will love this room type. The room layout is conventional and resembles what you might find in a modern home. There isn't anything else to look for beyond pitching, which I'm sure you will notice by now is a familiar theme with most concierge rooms. The Category 1C, or the Concierge 1-bedroom Oceanview Suite, is the only other cabin other than 3A that exists as a single cabin on the entire ship. The layout is well designed, and even without the veranda, this room enjoys plenty of natural light thanks to its numerous large windows alongside the walls. Being on deck 17 also means that you are well placed to many amenities and food options as well. The Category 1B, which is the other Concierge 1-bedroom Oceanview suite, features over 1,000 square feet of internal space. And similar to 1C, this room also enjoys plenty of natural light thanks to its windows. However, due to the aerodynamic design demands of the forward decks, the hull is slanted and this eats into the livable space. Between this and 1C, I choose 1C in my personal opinion. And finally, we arrive at the Pièce de Résistance, the Royal Suite. If you're dead set on booking the finest experience Disney Cruise Lines has to offer, nothing I can say here will change your mind. At a size roughly twice that of most Singapore HDB flats, this cabin features a dedicated children's room with bunk beds and a personal veranda to boot. The main veranda is naturally sizable and comes equipped with its own whirlpool. However, despite its massive footprint, it still only sleeps 6. Yes, just 6. While this room is the pinnacle of luxury, keep in mind its location. It sits at the extreme forward section of the ship, so if you're prone to motion sickness, no amount of gold trim will save your vacation once the ship starts pitching. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this Concierge Staterooms and Suites section. A summary is in order. Category 4D at the Concierge Inside is the entry ticket to the concierge experiences. However, at 420 square feet with 6 occupants, it may be a recipe for stress. The concierge family rooms are best placed for most and is the only concierge room class to be found in the midship section, and depending on how you look at it, exclusivity may not always be the most convenient option access-wise. The concierge suites, with no balconies, offer panoramic immersion with plenty of natural light at the cost of natural sea air access. The 3A deserves a special mention here with its spacious veranda, complete with its own personal whirlpool, but minus the Royal Suite price tag. However, the veranda itself is massive and one wonders if this is an outdoor room with a bedroom attached instead. The Royal Suite is undoubtedly the peak of cruising experience, but that does come with the risk of being seasick as well. So what's the verdict? For the budget reset, I took a 11A midship inside stateroom. For the family value, I picked a 8A deluxe Oceanview. And finally, for the value-conscious premium experience seeker, I picked the 2B Concierge Oceanview. Don't just book a room, book the experience that protects your energy. If this video has helped you plan your Disney adventure cruise, hit subscribe. I'm building Travel Reset to help you travel smarter, not harder. I'll see you at the next port.